Dear friends, praise be to Jesus.
Dear friends, tomorrow we celebrate the feast of Saint Alphonsa. Happy feast to all of you. We are all proud of Saint Alphonsa, the first saint of the Syro-Malabar Church. She inspires us all because she is from our own context, background and times. She was born in a middle-class agriculture family of central Kerala. Her spiritual life was nourished by the exercises we practice generally. Her spiritual directors were two ordinary CMI priests of her times, Father Romulus CMI and Father Louis CMI. She did not hold any office of superior position. From the human point of view, she did not contribute much to her community or to the society at large, because most of her life was spent on the sickbed. She did not leave behind any spiritual treatise or book or method to be followed by those who are inspired by her. She did not have an extraordinary mystical experiences. She did not perform any miracles or signs. She was just an ordinary religious person, a Franciscan Clarist nun. She is in our midst, not on a pedestal. Hence, she inspires us. Birth and childhood. Alphonsa, baptismal name Annakutti, daughter of Mary and Joseph Muttathupadat of Kudamalur parish, was born on 19th August 1910. She was the fourth child of her parents. She had two elder sisters and an elder brother who died at the age of 8. When Alphonsa was 8 months in her mother's womb, a snake, all on a sudden, crawled on to and encircled her mother's body. The courageous woman threw the snake away, but fell unconscious. 3 days later, she delivered the child premature. The child survived, but the mother died after 3 months. Entrusting the little child to her elder sister Annamma, who was married to Paulos Murikan of Muttuchira, Mary left for a heavenly abode. Murikan couple had 4 boys but no girl child. They were very happy to bring up Annakutti as their daughter. She was brought up under strict discipline of her foster mother. She was sent to the primary school Arpukara and then to Muttuchira government school. Her father used to come and take her to parental home at Kudamalur. But mostly she grew up at Muttuchira. She received Holy Communion at the age of 7. Vocation to religious life. Annakutti was extraordinarily attractive and well-mannered. Her foster mother was very proud of her and decked her with the best clothes and ornaments. Annakutti read a book on Saint Little Flower. She wanted to join a convent and become a saint like Saint Little Teresa. Her mother was adamant on getting her married. Annakutti was equally adamant on joining religious life. To ward off marriage, she decided to hurt herself by burning a foot in fire. Paddy husk was being burnt in a small pit in the backyard of her house. While trying to burn a foot, she fell into the pit and burnt both the feet severely and hardly managed to escape from being burned to death. The treatment for the burns continued for months. Foster mother became sympathetic. There was a respite from proposals. She was sent to Barananganam to join the boarding school of the FCC sisters. Annakutti continued her studies at Barananganam. She was accepted as a candidate for FCC and received the veil on 2nd August 1928. Her name changed to Alphonsa. Later, she continued her studies at Varapalli, Changanasheri, specializing in Malayalam. Attracted by her beauty, some people had exerted pressure on her superiors who advised her to go back home, since she did not have vocation to religious life. This was very painful for her. Alphonsa was having her holidays at home at Muttuchira. Cousin MP Matthew, contesting Travancore Assembly elections, had convened a meeting of the party workers at his residence. Annama was preparing meals for all, and Alphonsa was extending a helping hand. Mother asked her to fetch something from the store. As soon as she entered the storeroom, a young man followed her in and closed the door behind her. God gave her the wisdom to handle the situation. With a sweet smile, she requested the young man to wait inside while she returns after giving her mother what she asked for. The courageous girl locked the door from outside as she got out and informed the matter to her brother. Since Alphonsa was at home for holidays, her mother started her preparation for marriage again. Alphonsa doubled her prayers and penances. She got the courage to tell her family members that she would never agree for marriage. Her foster mother died in 1930. On 19th May 1930, Alphonsa had a visitation and with 7 other sisters at Baranangana. In May 1932, Alphonsa was appointed a teacher at Wagakat School. She was sick and was bedridden within an year. Alphonsa entered formal novitiate on 11th August 1935 at Changanasheri. Sister Ursula was a novice mistress and Father Louis CMI her novice master. She was very much attached to her mistress and master, for which she was corrected. Alphonsa had a very loving nature. She wrote in her diary in 1935, "Today onwards, I shall control my particular love towards. No more I will love anyone due to my natural attraction. If I fail in this, I will do some penance each time. This I will make a point of my examination of conscience." During the novitiate, Alphonsa became very sick. The mistress decided to send her back to Baranangana. Mar James Kalasheri, Bishop of Changanasheri, intervened and met Alphonsa and talked to her. She was allowed to continue. She was so sick that she was totally bedridden. The novices started a novena to Chavra. Alphonsa had a vision of Chavra on 9th day and she was healed. At the conclusion of the novitiate on 12th August 1936, Alphonsa made a final profession and on 14th she returned to Baranangana. Purification through suffering. Alphonsa was a daughter of suffering. It started when she was in her mother's womb. She lost her mother when she was 3 months old. In her early childhood, she suffered from severe skin disease. As a young girl, she burned her legs. The consequences of that event probably caused her death problems till her end. She was sick and bedridden throughout her novitiate. After the final profession, she returned to her convent at Baranangana. She was not able to do any work. She had fever which did not leave her easily, bleeding wounds on the legs, bouts of vomiting, etc. She had to be nursed. She felt that she was a burden for the community. Some sisters would make some comments hurting her. In spite of that, she loved them all. Once, a retreat preacher corrected her severely, making inferences from what he heard from here and there. This caused great agony for Alphonsa. The preacher later asked pardon from her. Some were suspecting her illness to be TB and were thinking of isolating her. This was very painful for her. Later, it was confirmed that she did not have TB. 18th October 1940, a thief entered the room of Alphonsa. She was frightened, causing mental instability, loss of appetite, loss of sleep, and she lost the capacity to read. When her mental condition improved, she became very free and like a child. Conversing with her was a joy for all. Her capacity to read was miraculously restored to her and on 13th September 1941. The last 5 years were time of intense purification. She passed through the dark night of her soul. On 26th June 1946, she wrote to her spiritual director, Father Romulus CMI, that she wanted to meet him. On 5th July 1946, Father Romulus came and met her. She opened up her heart and was consoled. She asked permission from him to pray for death. He allowed with the condition, if it is the will of God. He added to with the prayer. On 16th July 1946, she wrote to her Mother General that the Lord is going to take her away like an eagle snatching a bird. Her prayer was granted. On Sunday, 28th July 1946, she was carried away to her heavenly abode. glimpses of a spirituality. After the experience of being frightened by the Mar James Kalashiri visited her. During the conversation, he asked her, Alphonsa, then what are you doing during the night? She replied, I am loving Jesus. This is the secret of a spirituality, loving. Purity and clarity of conscience. In a letter dated 14th March 1945 addressed to Father Louis CMI, Alphonsa wrote, My situation is very pathetic. I am troubled in my mind. After the examen of conscience, I do not find anything that I have done against the Lord. In another letter dated February 1946, she wrote, Dear Father, I am trying my best not to do any sin consciously. In another letter dated May 1946, she wrote, God has granted me the blessing that the grace that I have received in baptism is not lost so far. Kenosis or self-emptying is another secret of a spirituality. This is clear from a prayer composed and recited by her daily. O Lord Jesus, hide me in the wound of your sacred heart. Free me from my desire to be loved and esteemed. Guard me from my evil attempts to win fame and honor. Make me humble till I become a small spark in the flame of love in your sacred heart. May our beloved Saint Alphonsa intercede for us